Welcome everybody. If you are watching this video, it is probably because you either bought or were gifted one of our Macrame Snowflake kits. You may have an antler similar to the one shown here. You may have a copper pipe or tube, but either kit, the basis of what you're going to be doing is the same. So let's go ahead and get started with our crafting. So, additional supplies to grab. You are going to need a very sharp pair of scissors, so definitely go with your sharpest, and I will link the scissors that I use. And not required, but I like to actually use like some yucky, look how gross that is, some masking tape or some packaging tape to hold down the ring while I'm actually working on the snowflake. So basically for every single snowflake, we're going to do the same set 6 different times, and I like to do a full set at a time before I move on. So I'm gonna go ahead and basically show you what one full set or section looks like. So you'll see here, I already have the lark's head knot on, and it goes all the way down to the bottom where I do have the tails even. You have more than enough cordage cut here for each of these knots. I always do a little bit extra just because you may not be a macrame pro, and that's okay. So what you're gonna do is to add a lark's head knot, you're gonna take a piece of your cord and just fold it in half. So you're going to do it where it about lines up at the bottom, and then you've got your loop up here at the top. And essentially, let's take our loop. I'm going to lay it down like this. So the loop is right here. I'm going to lay my piece over here, and I'm going to, see how my loop is up? Pull these 2 strings through. I'm gonna do it nice and slow for you to get that lark's head knot. I'm gonna push him right up to his friend. You'll see all the way down here that the pieces are about even. And for each set, you're going to need to have 3 lark's head knots. So we have 2 here. I'm gonna need to add 1 more. So again, I will show you how I went ahead and added that. And ignore how dirty my hands are. That's from all the crafting I'm always doing. I folded the string in half. You'll see here is our little loop. And for simplicity, and for those of you that are new to this, I'm just gonna lay it like this, lay my loop right there, put my piece here, while holding, oops, that shifted on me a little, while holding my loop up, I am just gonna pull these strings through and then go ahead and tighten them to get that 3rd lark's head knot in place. Okay, so we're now going to complete this whole full section first. So I had mentioned tape. You can also use like a clipboard or pretty much anything, but I do find it easier if I secure this when I'm working. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a piece of my tape and secure the top so that it's not going to move on me, especially while I'm trying to demo for you guys. I want you to really be able to kind of see what I'm doing, and having to worry about this piece shifting is not ideal. So go ahead and grab that tape. It can be really any tape, and just secure your loop right here and do a square knot now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the outside piece here, the outside piece here, and move them away. And I'm gonna have these 4 pieces right here. And I'm gonna do this nice and slow. In my opinion, the easiest way to explain this is we're going to be making a backwards 4 for the first knot, and then we're going to be making a regular 4 for the second. So what I mean by that, and again, I'm going very slow for you so that hopefully you can easily pick this up. I'm going to take this piece, see how it makes a backwards 4. Then, let me actually pull it up a little or adjust my camera. I'm not sure if it's right in. Okay. here we go. I'll do it again. So 2 pieces to the side. I'm taking this piece right here and I am making, I'm gonna pull it up just so it's definitely in screen, what looks like a backwards number 4, right? Or I guess a letter P, but let's go with the 4. So backwards 4. This string right here is going to come over the top, and then I'm going to pull him under these 2 through this hole, and we are just going to go ahead and tighten it all the way up to there. Don't pull too tight. You want to have a little bit of slack. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do what I'm calling the regular number 4. So I'm going to make it look like a number 4, where this time it's the piece on the left that's folded, right? And then the piece on the right, I'm going to come over this. I'm lifting this up right here so that this can come under, through, and I'm gonna pull it up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and again, just do that same piece again on the right side and then on the left. So again, backwards 4, coming over, lifting up, pulling this string under into that center, and then just pulling through. And again, there's our actual number 4. I'm going over, under, and then through this loop. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. Okay, so if you really wanted to, you definitely can go ahead and add in all of your sections and kind of move through and do this across them all. However, especially if you're a beginner, I really recommend just worrying about getting through one section at a time. And by section, I mean one individual point of the snowflake, which is exactly what I'm showing. We're going to go through the last knot that you need to learn for this craft, and it's the diagonal clove hitch knot. So I'm going to be working with these 2 pieces that are furthest to the right now. I'm going to go ahead and take the outside piece and I'm going to cross him over, and then I'm going to take this bottom piece and just tuck him in and up and then tighten. And again, I'm going to repeat that same. I'm going to take the outside piece and tuck him over. Then I'm going to take the bottom piece and come into the hole, go underneath, and then pull. I'm going to come over to the left-hand side and do that same thing. So I've got this piece. My outside piece is going to come over. I'm going to take this and go inside and then under and pull. And again, now this is my outside piece. He's going to go over. The bottom piece is going to go into the hole, under, and we're pulling. Okay? And then I'm just going to repeat that again on either side, but these outside strings are done. I'm working with these 2 and these 2. So right hand side, I'm going to take the outside piece and cross it over. Take the bottom piece into that hole, pull it underneath and tighten. And again, I'm gonna take the outside piece, cross him over, take the under piece, and he's gonna go inside of that circle, out through the top, and pull. And then coming right back over here to the left, I'm going to take this outside piece over, take this piece, and you go inside, underneath, and pull. And again, same thing over here, outside piece is going to go over. It's getting pretty short, as you can see, which is why we work with longer pieces. And then of course this bottom is just going to go inside the hole, around that outside, and pull. Cool. At this point, I'm gonna have these two longer threads right here, and I'm just going to, so you can see how it's exactly a replica. This piece is being a little stubborn, but it's perfectly even, right? As to what happened on both sides. I'm just going to take now the right, cross it over the left, and do a standard regular knot. And pull, and then again, the right again over the left, knot it, and pull. And that is going to be it for one point. I'm gonna go ahead and I will just show you again for anyone that wants to see it, that same exact thing. However, on the next section, I will do all of the knots on the right-hand side first, and then all of the knots on the left, versus kind of switching back and forth, in case that is how you prefer to do this piece. Before I do that though, I want to trim my tails here because I don't want them to get in the way, and there's a lot down here. So what I'm gonna do for right now is, ultimately, you are probably going to cut like a bit on a diagonal. Let me move this down here. So it would be like this, right? I can try and cut it like that now, but I'm gonna go back through and clean up everybody at the end. So I left this shorter piece as is, and then I kind of just cut his two friends on either side. And typically after I tease it out and spray it, I really don't do my final cuts until the very end. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and attach the lark's head knot for the next section and adjust this tape up here. Okay guys, I have all the lark's head knots for this next section. So first part is not gonna change. It's gonna be that square knot that I already showed you of the backwards 4 and the regular 4. So my two outside pieces move all the way out to the side. How close it is to this one right now doesn't matter, because as we fill in and work around, everybody is going to butt up a little bit closer to each other. So that's not a concern at this point in time. So I'm going to make my backwards 4. Take this piece. It's going to go over, lift these guys to push him under, and then just pull him through here. If you ever made necklaces when you were younger out of hemp, you actually probably did this exact knot. And then again, I'm gonna make my regular 4, take the outside piece here, over, lift, under, make sure he doesn't fall off there, come through and pull. And I will put it on slow-mo while I just do the two sides again, in case anybody does need to see it like that. All right, now we're gonna do the diagonal clove hitch knot, but I am just gonna do all of the knots on the right side and then all of the knots on the left. So let's just move The left piece is completely out of the way because we're not going to touch them until we're done with the right. So I'm going to take my outside piece right here, and we're just working with these two first. I'm going to cross him over. Can you see that on camera? Yep. And then I'm going to take my shorter piece, tuck him in, and literally just pull him through. And again, relatively not tight, but taut. And then again, I'm going to take what's now my shorter piece that's all the way on the outside, cross him over, take this piece right here, put him through the middle, and then just pull. Okay. And then I'm going to move on to this next section right here. This guy, my short piece again, and this. He's gonna cross over. My long middle piece is going to be the under. It's gonna come right through the middle, around that outside. Let's move him because we're not even using him. And we are going to pull. And then one more time, over. The shorty is going to come right through the middle, and then I'm going to just pull. Cool? Now, right side, done, aside from that finishing knot. So again, I'm going to work with my two outer pieces on the left. The long piece is going to come over. The short piece is going to wrap, go through that middle, around the outside, and pull. And again, I'm going to repeat that process. So the short piece is now on the outside. It's going to cross. What's underneath is going to come through the middle, and then I'm going to push him to the outside and pull. One more time of repeating that on the left. The short piece is going to cross over. My longer piece now is going to come into the middle and around. Pull, and again, over, take this guy into the middle, and then pull. And then to finish off, it's going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to take these two middle pieces. Again, I'm going to take the piece on the right, cross it over. The left is going to come, and you're just going to do a standard knot. And then I'm just going to repeat that again. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do exactly what I had showed you before of just kind of trimming. So I'm just going to kind of hold, I am not a left-hander, hold these pieces out for now and just trim these guys pretty close. And again, same thing over here of just trimming. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the snowflake here on time lapse, and then I will come back to show you how to go ahead and tease and kind of stiffen out your snowflake here. So see you in a moment. First, what I'll do is I will grab my teasing comb or teasing brush, and for every single point, so I'll start with this one for example, I'm just going to go and really break apart the fibers that are left. And once I have them pretty much apart, now I do a lot of crafts on this table. If you are working on a surface that you care a bit more about than I care about this table, you can always put something down, like even a piece from like a cardboard box or whatever underneath to protect your surface. Sometimes I'll put a piece of parchment paper after I've teased before the next step, but again, that's up to you. Paper is probably the ideal thing to put under, but put that down first and then just take your spray and work around. And you want to, my spray is getting a little stuck, but it's also pretty old. Yours is brand new and you shouldn't have any issues with the pump getting stuck. If you do though, just take it. You can twist your top off and run it under hot water. Especially right here, like this is where it definitely gets clogged after usage just because it gets the adhesive in it. But again, just go around and make sure that you get all of your edges coated with the adhesive spray, and then you're going to just let it sit and completely dry. So don't touch it, let it sit, and then I will show you how I go ahead and just finish it off. Here I have my dried snowflake. I did let it just sit for a while to make sure, and it has gotten a little bit hard, so that's fantastic. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, now I'm going to do my trimming. You totally have the option of really doing most of your cutting prior to stiffening these ends if you want it to be a bit more rough. For me, I do like it to kind of have a little bit more of like a pointed shape, which is why I do it like this. So I just kind of will hold out and then go ahead and cut up. And then on the same exact thing, kind of on this other side here, you can see I kind of hold it out and then I cut up. And I try not to cut too aggressively in case I need to even it out. I don't get too obsessive with making it perfect, but this is kind of how I like mine to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do these other two. So again, I'm lightly just combing them out before trimming. And I roughly take the whole one side with sharp scissors and cut. And then I go ahead and take that other side with my sharp scissors and cut. And you could always do a different shape if you really wanted to. That is going to be up to you in terms of how you want to finish it off. So this is my last one. And then after I have everybody cut, I will go, like I know this one for sure looks a bit longer than some of my others. So I would go in and kind of clean that up. But that's kind of the finishing piece. And then once I have all of my points trimmed and I'm content with how they are, then you're just gonna go ahead and add your cord for hanging. Now, you can totally do like a fishing line if you want, or I mean, the choice is really yours. I just use the cord that I use through the whole snowflake for hanging, and what I do is I will just push apart a little bit of one of the sections of where I want to be at the top, and then just tie a knot. And then, oh look, I missed a spot here. And then that's the exact same way that I go ahead and kind of attach it to the top of either the antler or the pipe. Same way, just a regular knot. You can always reinforce that with like a little tiny dab of hot glue if you wish, but that's gonna be it. So that's one completed snowflake of the kit. If you have the antler kit, you're gonna have one more to make. If you are doing the copper tube kit, then you are gonna have 2 more to make, but have fun, and I can't wait to see what you create. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you right now how I finish off the copper pipe version of the Macrame Snowflake kit. So you can see here, I do just tie a piece of that cord that I was using in a standard knot onto the snowflake. And then again, I do the same across the top. If you want to get fancy, you can definitely wrap some of the cord and then tie it off, but I just do a standard knot. And then for the copper pipe or the copper tube itself, you'll see up here, I did do a lark's head knot. It looks a little funny because it's flipped, but I'll flip it around and show you. You'll recognize it there. So I did a lark's head knot at the top, and then what I did was I ran the cord through the inside of the tube just by dropping it down. You can always kind of take something and poke it, like a chopstick or some kind of a straw or a long skinny tool, but this was how I finished off the copper pipe option. And I'm gonna go ahead now and I'll show you the deer antler option as well. Okay, and if you are working with the antler kit, you're actually going to finish it off much in the same way as the copper pipe. So you're going to go ahead, and I just, again, use like a standard knot and then double knot to attach the snowflakes to the antler. And I kind of play with positioning a little bit. In terms of attaching your antler to however you're going to hang it, both kits do have this little circular bone bead, as I mentioned, that I just attach with a lark's head knot, which you already know because that was the first knot that we did on the snowflakes. And then the antler, you do really have to kind of play with getting the positioning right. So I leave the cord a little bit longer as I kind of pull and adjust to get it to hang exactly where I want. But this is the completed antler kit. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. I am more than happy to help answer them. And I can't wait to do another craft with you again soon. Take care, everybody. Definitely make sure to subscribe below. And if you aren't following on Instagram, please give a follow at Let's Do a Craft. Bye-bye.